Welcome back to Texas Rangers with the Boys. We are the Boys, your daily Texas Rangers podcast by a couple of pro wrestlers who love Rangers baseball. And hey, we want to thank you for making us the first listen of your day. This is your boy Kev, aka YBK. And you know what? We were at the Rangers game last night. We got to get out together to our first ball game. Got to see that banner face to face. And man, it was glorious. And in case you didn't know, your Texas Rangers are the defending World Series champions. Before we get into the Rangers, let me tell you where to find me on social media. Kevin Lee Frazier, that is Frazier. You can also find Texas Rangers with the Boys on social media, TX Rangers WTB. Don't forget to check out that website, TexasRangersWithTheBoys.com.
All one word?
Yes, sir. And don't also forget to check us out on the CTH network on YouTube. It's at Chilltown Hoops. If you want to see our made for radio faces, go check us out on there. Joining me tonight, my co-host, as always. But before I introduce him, I want to wish him a happy birthday. And for that birthday, we did the baseball game. What better way to do it than do a Ranger game and looking at the baseball hat on your head? So, hey, guys, real quick, he's going to tell you where his social media is. Send him the birthday wishes. Send him the birthday money on Facebook. You can send money on Facebook. I don't know if he has a Cash App, but I bet he'll get one if you want to send him some Cash App birthday money. Or you could even
Zelle, Cash App, all
Yep. So there it is. That's it. So the 300-pound manimal, a.k.a. Bull, happy birthday, buddy. Where can they find you on socials?
Thank you for the birthday wishes. 41 was pretty good around the sun there, and let's hope 42 is just as good. I did get the cap last night, a purple tribute to the missus. But it was a great time out at the ball yard last night. Would have been nice to pick up a W and be able to talk about the first place Texas Rangers today on the show, but it didn't happen. Man, some runners were left on base, were they not? It seemed like they had traffic on them all night long and just couldn't get that big. Hell, they didn't even need a hit most of the time. I mean, it seemed like it worked out like the exact same way both times when they had the bases loaded. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Nubber back to the pitcher. I mean, it wasn't great night at the plate. But then it kind of was, but then it wasn't. And then but anyways, let's do the social thing real quick. Find me on Twitter, Manimal Bull, Instagram, Manimal300, and both Facebook and TikTok at Bull Pro. So whatever your favorite platform of the socials are, get at me there, and we'll start talking about Rangers baseball in general. I know it's kind of more of a larger scale now with Chilltown Hoops, and not everybody that listens to the show may be huge Ranger fans. They might want to talk about other baseball, and we can do that too. Before we start talking about other baseball, so I don't get Kevin, going, we got May 24th to talk about. May 24th, Matt War Pro Wrestling will be back at the Southside Preservation Hall, just a little south of downtown Fort Worth, Texas, on that south side of Fort Worth, sunny south side Fort Worth, right? That's the historical district down there. The Southside Preservation Hall is a great place to watch a wrestling show. I was gonna say a baseball game, but probably not. A little small for a baseball game, but great place for a wrestling match or a wrestling show. Come on out. Our friends from Big Dog's Hot Dogs, our friends from Kelly's Onion Burgers will be out back. We're going to have a hamburger hot dog party on Memorial Day weekend. And Starry's Ice Cream will be in there with your dessert treats. And Martin House Brewing will be out there. They're giving away free beer all night long at the venue. So come on out, show them you're 21 years of age, and have a Martin House brew on Matt War Pro with what is it? Slam and Destroy?
Yeah.
Where we're at? Slam and Destroy. Slam and Destroy 2. It is Friday, May 24th at the Southside Preservation Hall. I hope you're out there because I'll be there.
Awesome. Well, hey, we're burning the midnight oil, so let's get into it and let's talk some Rangers baseball. Well, actually, no. Actually, we do have. Man,
it's not the funnest topic to talk about.
It sucks, right? Like it sucks. Mike.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that like completely helps the Rangers. I guess kinda. I mean, in a grand sense of things, with him being in the division and all of that. But for the game of baseball, really for people that like to go out to the ballpark and watch great baseball players, this one really hurts.
Yeah, man.
Because Mike Trout, I mean, those first 10 years. Mike Trout, look, the one thing that me and you and probably, a lot of baseball fans have said was, they were so ready to just anoint him as the greatest baseball player, in his 20s years. And he was, man, he's already a Hall of Famer. He is just like King Griffey Jr. entering his 30s. He's already a Hall of Famer. But we're just not going to get to see that just excellence down the stretch of a career. And, it's one thing after another. This time it's a torn meniscus, and Mike Trout he can't stay healthy. And, I love the guy. I personally think he's probably top 10 baseball players that I've ever gotten to see in my life, and probably even higher than that. I mean, skill wise and what he can do on a baseball field, and the amount of pressure he puts on pitchers and defenders, and power, speed, a decent arm. You just saw it all from Mike Trout, and he played such a great center field. That's one of the things that we're going to probably talk about here in a minute was, well, when do you take a great center fielder that shouldn't be playing center field off of center field?
Yeah, I think that is actually, you brought up Ken Griffey Jr. I didn't was Acuna a center fielder?
He's already been moved off. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he came up as a center fielder. Yeah, now it doesn't hurt that they got that one kid out there playing.
Right, Michael Harris. But yeah, I mean, I just think we've been talking about. We talked about this long before the podcast. Just that, when you identify a player that's going to be so generational with the bat, the risk factor, the risk reward factor of playing them at a high risk position. And I mean, the first guy the guy in the Rangers right now that I think about right now is Corey Seager, because even, running around and doing the whole thing that all of the stress on your body that playing shortstop puts on you. It's like those high positions, like catcher is another one, that put a lot of strain on your body, put you in a lot of positions where you're running and you're moving and doing all that. I just think once you find that a player, starts to get in their late 20s and they're generational, even if they're not even generational, if they're a perennial, just a kind of a perennial good, almost all-star guy, it might be smarter to move them to a spot that's lower risk, so that they can play longer. People talk all the time about Eddie Murray and Harold Baines and stuff like that. But you look at that and you go, man, what if Ken Griffey Jr., moves to first base or right field and plays DH more and, stays in the American League. It's just stuff like that. You go, man, that would have extended his career by 10 years and extended his prime. And you're probably talking about a all-time home run leader that is not tainted by any kind of allegations. And it makes me think of the same thing with Trout. We've talked about it with Trout long before this happened. And I just think with Trout's body type, to me, is the thing that concerned me the most with him. It's just because he's
he's built like Hamilton.
Bigger, muscular guy. As you start aging, that connective tissue and those those smaller muscles that get torn easily, like a meniscus, they start to wear down. They're carrying more weight. You're running and moving and doing ballistic athletic things, and it just really puts the player in a position to get injured. I think the only way Mike Trout, or not Mike Trout, or like a player like that would give me confidence that he could still play those roles is if he starts to lose weight and kind of starts to like slim down a little bit. Then I think, hey, that might be more realistic, but why do that? When all you can do is, save your investment, move into a less risky position.
Yeah, well, and guys like a Trout, Trout, Hamilton, Griffey, guys that maybe aren't your prototypical prototypical center field body types, where long and lean, like Tavares. Evan Carter is built like a center fielder as well. I mean, you can see him putting size on and becoming more of a corner outfielder in the same sense. But I think the one thing I take away from Trout is that, I mean, he kind of looks like exactly what you want your left fielder to look like. I mean, like, I know that he's so much more than a left fielder and that he's such a talented center fielder. But at certain points, I mean, you got to put less strain on a guy. And as you see him getting hurt and you see him aging over the last couple of years, maybe not maybe pressure of playing center field, but just the idea of going out there every day and making those plays and being that guy, maybe that just, 5 years, 6 years, you start looking at saying, hey, this guy probably needs to play left field instead of center field, and we can get 1 million more miles out of him. Because there's no doubt to me that 1991 Barry Bonds could have played center field.
No, you're right. And I think another thing to think now, Barry Bonds is a great example. Ricky Henderson probably could have played center field. But another thing is that, like, okay, once the first injury happens, maybe that's when you say, okay, maybe we need to start moving in this direction. If at that point, if they make it through to like 29 or something like that with no injuries, clean record, bill of health, like maybe you start thinking in advance of, hey, maybe we should move this guy off. But let's say, that's just how, I'm not saying every single time, because there have been players that did, made it, through a career like that. But it just seems to be like, it doesn't surprise me when this happens. And like with Griffey Jr., it would have been the first time he got hurt like that. It's like, all right, let's get you over here to right field.
Yeah.
Mike Trout, same thing. As soon as you have like a knee or something like that, like anything lower body related, like, hey, let's get you over here. Let's do this because it might be a better long-term solution. And, like center fielders don't have the same. It's kind of like other positions like catcher and even shortstop. It's an anomaly to have like a mega hitting player at those positions, because you're looking for somebody that's more of a dynamic athlete that can do a lot more in the field. And finding a player that can do both of those things extremely well, I mean, just it's not normal. So again,
right.
Anyways, I don't want to belabor the point.
Well, yeah, no, there's not a ton of Torrey Hunters out there, that can play center field for 15 years and man the position well into their 30s. That's just not the way it is. It's not the way that people's bodies are built, and especially a guy like Trout that is a little bit bigger. He isn't your prototypical body type for a center fielder in the first place. Now, it doesn't mean that Mike Trout isn't one of the greatest center fielders to ever play the game, but he could have been maybe the greatest left fielder to play the game of all, I mean, and I mean, there aren't very many, like you talk about Torrey Hunters, or Willie Mays really is probably the most, but he even came off of center field late in his career. So I don't know. I mean, I hope,
Willie Mays was 5'10", 185.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 100% different.
Mike Trout's 235.
Yeah. No, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's not a lot of guys that are built like
that. And I know you agree with me, but it's like that point alone kind of negates the Willie Mays. Like I thought the same thing. And
But I wasn't saying that in the sense that Willie Mays was like this big guy. I was saying that like built to be a center fielder,
right.
where Willie Mays is built to be a center fielder, whereas Mike Trout is built to be a free safety, but he plays baseball.
I mean, shoot, Mike Trout at 235 is bigger than most linebackers these days. So
That's a fair point. You know, I mean, I'm still an '80s kid, so
yeah,
I'm thinking about Cornelius Bennett as my linebacker, him and Ken Norton Jr. and them boys. But anyway, you know, back to baseball. I nothing but like respect and love for Mike Trout as a baseball player and as a human being. I want to see him back playing baseball in 6 to 8 weeks, and hopefully that's all it's going to take. I know a torn meniscus. I don't know how much cleanup they can do in an arthroscopic type situation, but it's looking like the timetable is 6 to 8 weeks. Hopefully, we could see him back sometime around the All-Star break.
Awesome. Well, let's talk Texas Rangers. We know speedy recovery to Mike Trout. Tough luck for old Ron Wash because Rendon went down as well. But you know, tough luck for the Angels. I don't think too many people are going to cry 2 tears in the bucket for Anthony Rendon. But let's move on and talk some Rangers.
He's the only baseball player that has his priorities right. I mean, the only one of them, and he got booed and hissed and all of that for it.
Give me 60 games a year.
Yeah, well, he probably isn't too far removed from, you know, I'm not going to get into Rendon. I don't hate Anthony Rendon because he prioritizes other things over baseball. I hate Anthony Rendon because he plays for the Angels.
Love that, and agree with that 100%. Let's talk Rangers and Rangers injury news. So a little bit of a kind of a hiccup in Max Scherzer's rehab.
Yeah. Apparently a little bit of tightness, not necessarily anything that, you know, to worry about, but you know, every time anything is a little bit of a setback, you want to jump on the worry train as fast as possible. But from what I'm seeing, he could make a rehab start this weekend. We'll follow up on this tomorrow and see if we got any more on it tomorrow. But he didn't make that scheduled Tuesday start in Corpus Christi. I was watching the game and I was like, "Hey, Scherzer's on the bench there. What happened here?" And then I'm like, do a little deep dive, and he's feel a little soreness in his thumb, maybe that was, you know, going to keep him from this start, and you know, wants to make sure he's 100% healthy when he goes out that way.
You know, I wonder. My thoughts are like, it makes me ask questions because it is on the throwing side. The other side of it is like, what does soreness in the thumb mean? Like, because my thought is like worst case scenario. Like, does just worst case scenario? Are we talking about like soreness? I'm not soreness, but like numbness or like that residual, that kind of nerve pain that you get. Because to me, if we're having some of that, like that's extremely concerning. But if it's soreness from like he's just throwing and gripping the ball, or I don't know, it's just I know they're not going to give me more clarification, but I certainly want more because I'd like to know what they mean by soreness of the thumb, because all I've seen is like he needs to let everything breathe. Yeah, I mean, anyway, let's not get too much.
And yeah, not too much into it. And he wasn't giving a ton away. Chris Young wasn't giving a ton away. Everybody wanted to make sure that it was pretty known that it was a slight setback and not anything that they're highly concerned about right now.
And then let's talk about also yet to make his Rangers debut, Tyler, right? Tyler Mahle.
Tyler Mahle throwing. He's getting to where he's throwing bullpens, using all of his pitches. Him and Kumar Rocker are on the exact same timetable. They had the exact same surgery on the exact same day in the exact same office. So Dr. Meister is probably happy with that. But those guys are right now, they're looking at June to start seeing batters. That makes you think that, then they start ramping it up, similar to what, Scherzer's been doing over the course of the last couple of weeks. And, hopefully that July, right around the All-Star break, can be that timetable that they're going to fulfill. Both of them, really, honestly. Rocker will probably head to Frisco, maybe Hickory, but I doubt it. And then Molly would be, out for rehab and then on his way back. And I mean, so you're thinking probably next month at this time, they'll start throwing live hitters in Arizona, or Molly probably with the big club. But Rocker will probably be in Arizona. He probably won't do that with a minor league club. And then Molly is supposed to start traveling with the team this week, this next road series, to rehab with the club. So sure, it's not Molly will be back right away, but it's, man, this is starting to get close, and we're starting to see like 8 weeks from now, we could start thinking about Tyler Molly making appearances as a Texas Ranger and helping shore up this rotation, which has been so far so good.
Yeah. We're going to talk about Andrew Heaney here in just a second. And then, man, I just cannot wait for Kumar Rocker to get healthy and get going. I don't know what.
Yeah, it was so impressive what he was doing last year before the tear, and bottom line is Kumar Rocker hasn't been healthy since he was a freshman at Vanderbilt. And if he'd have left it as a freshman in Vanderbilt, we're talking like Paul Skeens type hype. Mm-hmm. So, I'm excited to see what happens. I still think that there's a lot of excitement to happen with Kumar Rocker. I think he's going to come back and be healthy for the first time, for sure, in his professional career, but really since that just insane year he had with Vanderbilt.
Yeah. And if we can get a healthy, if we can have a healthy Kumar Rocker, and man, if we can get 5-6 good years out of that guy, I'm telling you, man, I feel like he has a ceiling. Like, we're talking like super duper. I'm talking, I don't know how to explain it. I
think that wipeout slider is such an exciting pitch that to pair that with 100-mile-an-hour fastball, which I fully expect him to be back throwing between 97, 99 and throwing that slider. Now we'll see. A lot of the reasons he was in that doctor's office in the first place was that slider. But, we'll see. I started watching some of the Meister interviews, and he was doing a lot of talking about anything that runs right to left, left to right. Those are the pitches that he sees in his office a lot more. So you're talking about sliders, cutters, sweepers, and he said splitters, because they try to throw that splitter with the turn back of almost the old school. What was that Fernando Valenzuela used to throw? The what?
The screwball.
The screwball, yeah. They throw that change up where it comes back to where they're almost getting that same action as a screwball, and that's why that splitter is such, you saw that the splitter go away for such a long time, and now the guys that are getting that good depth, who was it that we saw last night? Hunter Harvey. Woo! And Finnegan. Yeah. Both of those guys get deep drive off of that splitter, and it really barrels out. A lot of times you'll see Nathan Eovaldi throw splitters that are in the strike zone and not really moving a ton. And then you'll see him throw splitters that are that are going basically from the middle of the plate to the bottom dropping off of them. And I wonder if that means that he kind of throws them a couple of different ways, where he has a splitter that he throws just as a changeup to get guys off balance. And then he has a splitter that he throws that kind of gets more depth and more action. Because, Nathan Eovaldi is no stranger to the Tommy John surgery.
No, not at all. Not at all. Well, we talked about Kumar Rocker, so it behooves me to talk about Rocker and not talk about this Texas Rangers farm system. And where we talk about the Texas Rangers farm system, Bull?
It's down on the farm with the boys.
Down on the farm with the boys. This is where we cover all things Rangers minor league. It's our exclusive content. It's just $1.99 a month. Last episode, we went around the entire farm system, talked honestly, like I felt like we were cramming because we were off for a week. And the best part about it was that made the show just 3 hours worth of content in an hour. And it's going to be worth every single dime. Make us your one-stop shop for all things Rangers, organization-wide. I promise you won't regret it. My co-host puts a ton of time and effort into it, and make sure he's following those minor league scores every day. He's got a list that he's going over. He's checking it twice. Wait.
That's a different list. That's a later in the year list.
Yep. Sorry about that. But, I mean, the beard got maybe.
I only work for him at private parties in the winter.
Only private parties. So, hey, go check it out. Down on the Farm with the Boys, minor league show. There's so much going on at the minor league system with the Rangers, and there's so much news. And really, it's kind of like you have kind of like a transition going on right now of like older prospects that are kind of starting to make their way to the major leagues, guys that we talked about a lot last year that we were kind of knew we weren't going to see into this year, and now we're seeing them. And then there's this whole other fresh crop of players that are kind of a couple of years away, you'd say, or more. And a lot of these guys are really dynamic, really good, and really making their own splash. And I'm telling you right now, we talked about it before the season started, but the Frisco Rough Riders just continue with this almost no-name crew. And I don't mean it not to us no-name, but not the star-studded team that we were expecting we'd seen the last couple of seasons. They're really making waves, and I can't wait to talk about them again this upcoming week. And maybe we could take a few extra minutes this week just to talk about how they're kind of the upstart of the minor league organization. So a lot of cool stuff to talk about. But hey, go check it out on our website, TexasRangersWithTheBoys.com.
Oh, one word.
Or on our Spotify page, or you can hear on the CTH network at Chilltown Hoops. There are 3 different levels to subscribe to. One of those you can actually hop onto the show and jump in here and talk with us on the video chat. So go check it out. Won't regret it. Let's talk about some box scores.
Yeah, the first one's going to be fun. Tuesday night, the Rangers playing Washington. Mackenzie Gore on the hill. He gives them fits for a handful of innings, but they scratch a couple of runs and end up getting him out of the game in the 5th inning. And then once he's out of the game, the Rangers scratch some more runs and put up a crooked number to finish things off in that bottom of the 8th inning. But overall, I mean, the Rangers, I would say, on a list of pretty good starts this year, John Gray, that one last night was definitely the best one he's had this year, and probably the best one he's had since last year against St. Louis when he got beat 1-0 and he threw 8 innings in that game. So one of the finer performances by John Gray as a Texas Ranger, not just as this year. And then we got to see some more Cole Winn last night. Final line for John Gray. He went 8 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, and just 3 strikeouts. But 0 walks, which is 3-0 walk to strikeout to walk rate is still pretty good. But anyway, I think he was more intent on not allowing guys to take him deep into counts last night. He was trying to get swings and misses early, and when he got ahead in counts, he was getting guys to make weak contact on pitches that were around the strike zone, not trying to bury sliders and not trying to, get guys out with pitches that weren't, that were starting in the strike zone and jetting. He was trying to keep things around the strike zone, and I thought that he was very effective. He probably could have pitched all 9 last night if they needed him to, but he was about 98 pitches, so they decided to go to Cole Winn in the 9th. And Cole Winn, man, his stuff is playing really, really nice in the big leagues. That fastball at 96, 98, he keeps it up a little bit to get guys to where they're thinking they can hit it and they're underneath it. And, he's working off of that really well. And, Cole Winn has been nothing but impressive. He just 12 pitches last night, 10 in the strike zone, 1, 2, 3, and gave the Rangers, what they needed to close that game out. And the bats kind of came alive a little bit last night, and then they shut back down on Wednesday night. So, I don't know. Every week or every night you're getting a little something different from this offense. And last night they had, 11 hits, couple of walks, a hit batter, and they scored 7 runs. Last night they had 11 base runners, and they stranded all 11 of them, or they had 11 base runners and stranded 10 of them, 12 base runners, something like that. Something ridiculous like that, though, when they stranded a bunch of base runners. They couldn't get that hit with runners in scoring position last night, but on Wednesday or Tuesday night, they were 4 for 11 with runners in scoring position. So, man, it comes and it goes. Simeon's been kind of picking it up. He had a couple of hits the other night. We were kind of hoping at some point Seager is going to get things to turn around. You see a hit late in the game. You hope to see that, manifest into something the next day, and it just, hasn't yet. Nate Lowe has been terrific since coming back from the IL. Looks like he's in midseason form. Garcia, another hit last night. Heim, another hit last night. Langford and Wenzel were the only guys that didn't have hits in the lineup, but Wenzel's spot in the lineup had a hit when Evan Carter came in, got a hit, scored a run late in the game. And then Leody Taveras got off his first home run, 2-run job there late in the game. They really sealed things down, and the Rangers, did a good job of, hitting late in the late innings. They had some fits with Mackenzie Gore in the first couple of innings, and they put some hits together, and they couldn't quite put him away when I felt they could have needed to in the 4th inning there. But overall, I forgot about Josh Smith, who just continues to have extra base hits and hit another home run last night with a double, 2 for 3. Or 2 nights ago, or Tuesday night. And, John Gray gets the win. That's his first win of the season, but he's also sitting at a 2.48 ERA for the season. And then Gore picks up the loss, 2-3. He had he has a 3.19 ERA on the season. He was really fun to watch. A good young pitcher, and the Nats got him another good one here.
Real quick on Cole Winn. So far this season, he's got 7 innings, 1 walk. He hasn't given up a hit yet. He hasn't even given up a hit yet. And again, it's going to happen.
It's young. The season's young. He's going to give up hits. Kirby Yates isn't going to have a 0.00 ERA all season.
No, but just really nice to see it, and really at a good time. And another guy who's pitched really well for the team this year, young pitcher, and we'll talk about him here in just a second, talking about Jacob Latz. So as far as, we were joking at the game tonight, and I'm losing my voice a little bit because of it, but it was almost like this game reminded me of like the 2023 Rangers, but like 2023 Rangers light. And it's like this team last year probably would have put freaking 15 up in a game like this. They're not just going to tick away one run an inning and then get 3. They're probably getting a couple of runs in a couple of those innings, and probably the inning when things get out of control, it turns into 6 or 7. So, I'm not mad about it, but I can just say that I think as of right now, this is a different team. It doesn't mean that because they've got some of the same players, but offense year in and year out, it can be hard to replicate that. But if they can keep winning close games and they can do certain things, when they have a chance to win a game, they could still be a really, really good team. And I think, let's kind of using this as a segue into last night's game, or for us, I guess, tonight's game, but last night's game, it's like, though these are the games you have to win. And again, it's not the end of the world, but these kind of games where you put tons of runners on base and you leave a ton of runners on base and you can't scratch out a couple runs when you've got that many guys on base, those add up over the long haul. And that's what I don't want to see happen with the team. That's my only real concern about it, is that, hey, man, we got to start getting some of these. We got to start stealing a few of these. Some of these 4-3 ball games or 3-2s or 2-1s. We've had a ton of them already, it feels like.
Well, and a big factor in last night's game is the Rangers were 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position, but if they're 2 for 10, they win the game.
Yeah, because, man, they were
one hit at any point in the second, fourth, fifth, and they win the game 2-1 with just a base knock, something that's up over, floats out over the second baseman's head. It just didn't happen that way last night. And, both times with the bases loaded, they had bases loaded, nobody out. You get weak ground ball on the infield that leaves your runner to dry at the plate. And then you get strikeout behind it. And then the third batter, you need that hit. Once you need that hit, it wasn't going to happen. I mean, if you weren't going to get the sacrifice fly, or nobody could ground into a double play and get that run across.
Yeah, man.
It was really, really tough sledding last night for the Rangers with runners in scoring position, and to have 9 at bats with runners in scoring position and come out with nothing to say, nothing to show for it. I mean, that's not the type of baseball we're used to seeing these last couple of years from Texas. Runners on third and less than 1 out. The most times the Rangers come away with runs there. And last night that was, 4 at bats with runners on third and less than 2 outs. And you got 2 strikeouts and 2 ground balls on weakly hit on the infield that turned into a 5-2 and a 1-2.
Yeah. It's tough. Both times when that happened, it was like, God dog it, man. Even just a chopper, just a chopper would have done the trick. 2 choppers would have done
because
the trick.
You can't ask for.
I mean, gosh.
You can't ask for anything more than Andrew Heaney did for the team.
No, and actually, I think that's worth kind of the silver lining here. Andrew Heaney back-to-back good starts.
Yeah, 2 good starts in a row. I know his last one wasn't a quality start because of the 4 runs, but 6 innings and the 6 innings last time out, 7 innings this time out. I mean, we're talking about this time last week, Andrew Heaney had an 8+ ERA, and he's worked that thing down to 5.1 in that time. So for as slow as the start was for Heaney, he's started to pick things up these last couple of starts, and hopefully we'll continue to see Heaney, improve as the year goes on. And when he's able to throw strikes and stay in the strike zone and command the fastball at the top of the zone, he can get outs in the big leagues, and he can get lots of outs in the big leagues. Is just, what he had the double, single, Evan Carter just didn't quite have enough time to throw him out at the plate. And that was the run, that was the, so overall, Andrew Heaney was good all night. I think he could have probably worked the 8th inning if they needed him to last night. But get Leclerc a little work. We got to see Jake Latz, like you said. Leclerc gave up the infield hit there in the 9th inning, and then that guy ended up he almost got picked off by Latz at first, and then he overslid second base by a mile, and Seager kept that tag down, and Alan Porter called him out there too. So, it ended up not being a big deal, that last hit that Leclerc gave up. Latz worked around things nicely. His stuff has been tremendous. He gets guys way out in front of that changeup and gets really, really weak contact with it.
Yeah. So silver linings here. Rangers need to just go out and take care of business. Today.
And there were good. They put a lot of people on base. I mean, you had Wyatt Langford turn around a 99-mile-an-hour fastball from Hunter Harvey that, I mean, would have liked to have seen it in the second inning, but whatever. Overall,
just missed one.
Just missed. I mean,
Wyatt Langford got some other good contact on one, I thought.
Not with the bases loaded, though.
No, but I think he had the one where the ground out, but did he not hit? I thought he hit one.
Did he hit a ball hard up in the air, right? Yeah, that went to right. I can't remember, but he did hit the ball, all right. I'm not saying that Langford didn't hit the ball well. I thought that was a silver lining was that Langford hit the ball well. Smith continues to get on base. Like you said, the Seager ball that, I mean, just missed being a home run. And really not even the fact about a home run. If he could have found any other part of the ballpark, that's probably down, I mean,
a runner on base.
Yeah, I agree. And, Leody Tavares got on base a couple of times. He had a walk and a base knock. He's starting to come around a little bit. You're starting to see his average tick up quite a bit. He's up 15 points this week and about 30 points since the start of last week. So You're starting to see it come around a little bit. Now you just got to see it put together all at one time. And when the guys like Tavares and Heim and Langford turn the lineup over, you need to see that production at the top of the order. And you've seen a little bit of it from Simeon in the last couple of nights. You want to see some more of it from Corey Seager, but you feel like it's getting close, right? I mean, I feel like you just feel like it is, and he's not going to go 6 months without hitting the baseball well. So he works entirely too hard, and getting to watch him warm up, it looks like a 70-year-old man warming up, but maybe guys like Mike Trout and those dudes could take some of that because he sees the writing on the wall and knows that geriatric training ain't so bad.
No, I agree. I think it's really interesting when you watch Corey Seager and the way he preps for a game. He does a lot of things that you would see done in like a sports rehab clinic. And so to me, a guy in his 30s, he's not out there, training like he's getting ready for like a sprint competition or a football game. What he's looking to do is he's looking to help his body be more pliable so that he's not super stiff when he's out there. He's warming up some of those muscles that we were talking about, like with Mike Trout. Like he does a lot of stuff that you can tell works on like what we call like connective tissue or stabilizers, those kind of muscles where your like small injuries happen. And a player that's explosive like Corey Seager, he's the kind of guy that like would never shock me if like he pulled a muscle like swinging the bat at like hitting a home run, because he's just so explosive. And guys like that can like you can pull a muscle by being explosive like that, because those smaller muscles are very easy to injure. So it's just really cool to like watch him warm up. And I noticed that the first time I watched it, but it's cool to see some of the things that I watched it that he added to his repertoire. And you're watching, you're going, man, like if I'm these guys, I'm looking around watching everybody else warm up like it's, middle school or high school, like football practice, I might be like, hey, let me borrow that goofy ball that you
run around with out there in the outfield.
Yeah, what's that goofy exercise that you're doing with your foot, doing this thing going forward and back? Why are you doing that? Anyway, really cool. A lot of fun to get out the ball yard as always.
Well, I'll be out there again today.
Yeah, and you're going to be there today, and what just a class act way to watch a baseball game, man. I love the stadium. I don't care what they say about.
Yeah, I mean, the people that don't like this stadium, man, I don't know what to tell them at this point. But watching baseball and the air conditioning and having new cool things every time you pop up over there, like Peagle's Perch out in right field, and Whataburger underneath there, and just seeing little things that are popping up, and maybe the Rangers aren't the most historic franchise in the history of baseball, but maybe we could change that and make what Globe Life Field is the thing to be in the future with history behind it and with all the things that the Rangers are trying to do here. And I mean, like we said, a lot of baseball is playing 500 baseball and then catching a heater. And the attempt to catch a heater starts again today with Nathan Eovaldi on the hill, and he's going to be opposed by Mitchell Parker, who is having a really, really nice start to his season. Young fella, but gets some strikeouts, doesn't give up a lot of hits, doesn't walk a lot of batters. And then, we know Nate is Nate, and he's going to go out there and he's going to throw fastball, splitter, a couple of different kinds of fastballs, a cutter, a splitter, a changeup, curveball, slider. He's going to throw them all. He has about 10 different pitches that he throws out there. And I think it's 5, but whatever case may be. It's a 1:35 start back on Bally Sports, and I'll be out there at the ball yard. So if you're somewhere out in right field and you see a bearded man wearing a red and purple hat, that's me.
Well, hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to check us out here on the CTH network at Chilltown Hoops on YouTube. Don't forget to check us out on social media, TX Rangers WTB. Don't forget to check out that website, TexasRangersWithTheBoys.com.
That's all one word.
You can subscribe there to our exclusive content Down on the Farm with the Boys, where we cover all things Rangers minor league. Big shout out to our farm hands who subscribe already. You don't want to miss it. Too much good stuff going on in the Rangers farm system to miss out. Thank you to all of our subscribers here on YouTube. Thanks to all of our followers and subscribers on your favorite podcasting platform. I'm about to pass out for the 300-pound manimal. This is your boy Kev. We are Texas Rangers with the Boys signing out.